Yeah. As always, we are live. Welcome everybody to the Friday Live, brought to you by the Hood. My name is Jimmy. As always, I got my brother Corey with me. What's up, Corey?
Yo, man, what's really good, man? I'm relaxing, man. Living La Vida Loca, man.
I know. The Sixers started. So you watching? You watching? Joel take off. He can call out sick. You know what I'm saying? Taking vacation days.
Yo, man. Yo, I was mad as hell, bro. So I'm watching that show, and him and Paul George sitting out talking about some season management trying to get to April. Dog, it's October.
That's the new NBA, man. I blame Mike for that.
My career trajectory going to start to look like Tim Duncan. Dog, by the time Tim Duncan was in your year, he had 3 chips, dog. Like, career trajectory like Tim Duncan, man.
This is where we at. This is where we at. Yo, Sean, what's up, cuz? He in the comments, he said, what's up, family? Even Spirit Fingers not playing yet. Called the boys Spirit Fingers. Hey, listen, man. It's a wild time in the association, man. Cats can just make more money than ever and then not really play. So
the NBA talking about investigating the Sixers already, dog. They talking about investigating.
In the first week of the season, B.
The first week of the season. They under investigation because they best players not playing in the first week of the season, bro. Like, and then
in the
already told everybody they not playing no back-to-back. So you might as well not even come to if they play one night and you got them the next night, you might as well not even come to the game. Because they said
something will be done about that.
They told everybody they not playing no back-to-backs. They just told the whole league.
So something has to be done about that, right? And again, this is, we talk business, it's a little sports talk, but it's economics too, right? Because think about this. Outside of just having tickets to games, right? Kids play to see these players play. The TV contracts. It's like, why do I care? You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know what the answer is, man. It's like folks don't care about the regular season. They only care about championships. So therefore, it's bad business, man.
So you just telling me the best player on my team gonna play 50 games? You just telling me that from the rip? You're just saying that. So
Adam Silver
he's going.
I guess he's going to say F with the Sixers. Adam Silver don't F with the Sixers. Kawhi been on load management for a decade. Listen, Kawhi went through that one of the greatest playoff and finals runs there was, and then was like, I'm done at this point. He had already won chips with the Spurs, and then when he got his chip with Toronto, where he was the main guy, and he had that crazy run with the game-ending shot and all that, he was like, look, I'm done at this point. At this point, I'm just going to make as much.
He done collected $250 million, though. Like, my man is
chilling. But here's the illest part about Kawhi, though. Here's the illest part about Kawhi. When he plays, he's one of the best players I've ever seen play. When he plays. Like, he'll take off 6 months, come back, play a game, and you're like, all right, I see why. You know what I mean? And then he'd be like, all right, I'm out another 6 months.
Yeah,
man. Anyway, man.
Dude, my man playing on prosthetic. He out here playing on prosthetic knees. Like, dog, you just collecting the check. You know your knees ain't no good, bro.
K Diggie's in the building. What's up, K Diggie? Pascal's in the building. Sean says, yeah, don't F with the Sixers. Pause on that DT. Hey, yo. What up, though? Jamil's in the building. We got Detroit in the building, man. Jamil, what's really, really good, man? Listen, we don't have no topic tonight. We're just going to come on and kick it with y'all for a little bit. We're not going to be, not a long show, but we're going to have fun. Talk about a couple things that's going on in our world and our lives. Do a Bitcoin giveaway. Get out of here, man. See what's up with y'all. Cool. I had a lot going on this past week, man. Been working on my development. As a matter of fact, let me see. Maybe I could share that with y'all because, I actually got some of my architecture plans. You know what I mean? My architecture plans is actually done. So maybe I could share that with the people, Core. But I'll do that in a second.
I can't share before I do that. Mine is legal. My what I do got children and people's lives involved and all that. Like I'm sitting here in the what's the name right now, IEP, and I'm sitting here like putting together a treatment plan for a kid that need services for math deficiencies and reading deficiencies. So I'm trying to see what the present levels are. I'm reading a current IEP. The person who wrote it is a liar.
Damn.
Because they talk
So
about testing.
For those who don't know, explain. And maybe everybody does know, but I also always like to give context in terms of what we talk about and never make assumptions, right? So Corey works in education, and part of what we want to do. I was telling Corey about this. Like we're setting up a new structure for our business, but I was telling Corey part of what I want to do is we don't like to talk about things we don't do, right? So when we talk about trades, it's the trades that we make. When we talk about real estate, it's the projects we work on. But I was telling Corey, I want him to bring more of the education piece to it, because I think that when you talk about wealth, it has to be a holistic approach. It's not just, the quote unquote, for lack of a better term, run the play. I don't want to do that. I want to talk about like education too. But I think education is a huge part of wealth.
It is.
When I think about like kind of anything that I've accomplished or whatever, I was set up early to do that by, education. So anyway, with all that being said, explain to the folks what an IEP is and why it's important to, really know what's going on with an IEP.
So an IEP is a individualized education program set up by the state and the federal government to provide services for a child who has deficiencies in some area, whether those be emotional or math or whatever deficiencies they have. Sometimes it's because the child has like a learning disability, an actual disability. And then sometimes it's because they have emotional control issues that affects the classroom learning or whatever. It's a myriad of reasons they can have one, but every child that I deal with has one of these.
Wow.
And so when I say that sometimes these Jones be like falsified to the hilt.
But here's my question: how many educators just throw labels and do things with kids that they don't deserve? And then once you tag a kid, how long does that actually like sit on a jacket, for lack of a better term?
So it sit on a jacket forever, because my thing about it is if they've been tagged with an IEP, it's most likely because they have a learning deficiency. And the thing about learning deficiencies are they're hard to overcome, because some of these kids aren't diagnosed or tagged until they're in 5th or 6th grade. And at that point, the learning deficiencies you're going to have to overcome are going to take years. So by the time they finish their primary schooling, they're probably still having IEP.
Wow.
So not, if it's a learning deficiency, if it has something to do with like the child being on the spectrum, then that's something that they can't overcome. That's something that they were born with, and that'll live with them. That IEP will protect them for the rest of their lives. So it is protectionary for the children.
That's good.
That IEP will follow them into adulthood, because I used to work with adults. Remember a few years ago, I used to work with adults with IEPs.
Yeah.
So I've worked with children with IEPs, adults with IEPs. And so that IEP will follow them into adulthood.
Okay.
If they
the reason I was asking that question is because
but what I was talking about with dude is a liar, right? So I'm testing this child, and this child can't count. Literally, like if I ask them to, they can't count. They can count. Like if I say count to 100, they can count to 100. But if I say, what's 8 plus 6, they can't add to 20. And then in their IEP, I'm looking and it's saying test them on the 3rd grade level. In 3rd grade, you're supposed to be learning multiplication, and you can't add to 20. So I'm just looking at this IEP like whoever wrote this is a bald-faced liar. Like you can't tell me that I'm supposed to be testing this child on the 3rd grade level when when I gave them a test, they can't add to 20 and they can't count with regrouping. That's 1st and 2nd grade skills. If you can't do those things, all the rest of the skills don't matter because you can't really count. And so you're going to be spending all your time on computation and none of your time actually learning what to do in math because the computation is going to take you forever. So if you can't do that, all the rest of the math doesn't make sense. And they're telling me to test the child on the third. So I'm looking at the IP and they say test them on the third grade level. And I'm like, man, whatever. This is malarkey. You know what I mean? Like this is just like somebody's parent or somebody got in trouble, and they because what happens is in some of these IEPs, they'll say test them at a second grade level, and then every year that child is supposed to progress. And so as they progressing in grade, the level that they're being tested on is supposed to progress also. Or the person who was in charge of that IEP starts to get in trouble because that child isn't progressing. And I'm like, man, I'm just gonna have to get in trouble because ain't no way I'm testing this child on the third grade level. I'm just not doing it. I don't care what the IEP says. I'm just not doing it because this child can't count. Like, they can't add, they can't subtract. So third grade level stuff is based on them being able to add and subtract.
Well, let me ask you this question, right? In the grand scheme of things, why would someone what is the benefit of them lying? Like, why would they do that?
Protecting their job, because my thing is those children are supposed to be progressing.
So basically, if they're not progressing, is a bad look on them. So
or the parent is saying my child knows more than what is being tested, and sometimes it's not the school, it's the parent. So there's a lot of things that go into that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's the parent. Sometimes parents are overbearing and they think they know what's best for their child, but they don't know anything about the laws. And some of the stuff that they're asking the school to do is making their child suffer in school.
Yo, so everybody watching, do me a favor, please hit the like button, love button. I was asking Corey some questions about education because I'm just interested. And
then
we talk about systems.
What most people don't know about education is that a child with an IEP brings in 3 or 4 times the money that a child without one brings. So
I guess it's funding. I guess it's funding. Because
because they have to be. They need this special programming, and so the schools have to pay for that. And so what the government does is send them extra money so that all of those things that are in the IEP can be served.
Okay.
So
all right, cool. Let me get some of these comments real fast so we can catch up. But that's all interesting stuff right there, man. Lorraine, from Ghana. Lorraine's in the building. Listen, man, I gotta get the Ghana, man. I was just reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, and he was talking about Senegal. I mean, and he has a way with words anyway, but I was like, after listening to it, I was like, I'll go to Senegal. But shout out to Lorraine though. Text IEP is phenomenal. LaJoya is in the building. Cola is officially here. What's up, LaJoya? She says her daughter grades have improved tremendously. So I guess there can be benefits to them as well, Corey.
No, it's 100% benefits to it for the child, but it puts the schools in precarious positions a lot of times, because sometimes what happens is these children don't they're not in the proper environment, right? When the parents think that their child has progressed farther than they have, or like my wife is saying in here, like people lie to protect their certifications as an educator. What happens is their children end up in regular education classrooms, or they end up in programming that is not appropriate for their actual intellectual level. And that's a shame. You know what I mean? Like,
that's unfortunate. So Shy Brick says they may not be truthful to protect school testing numbers and funding overall.
Yep. Yeah. That's another thing.
Yep. There you go. And LaJoya says it's the liability on your certification and licenses as the educator or student if the students don't progress. AKA basically your livelihood is at risk.
Yeah, well, my livelihood just gonna have to be at risk, because I'm gonna just tell you.
Certain folks
that whole right? Yeah, like because my whole thing is this: if you level them if you put them at the right levels, they will progress. Yeah, that's the whole point. Like people are scared to say that they didn't progress this year. Well, they didn't progress this year because sometimes students have intellectual disabilities. If they got an intellectual disability and they're not being serviced in the at the proper level, they're not going to progress. If I service this child that I'm talking about at the 3rd grade level, this child is not going to progress because they don't have 1st and 2nd grade. They don't have all of the foundational skills.
No, I get what you're saying. So you're setting them up for failure. But my thing is, how long has this been going on, and how many kids have been set up for failure? And this is just what happens. Like I think about this conversation we're having, and I think about like how many kids were just pushed through and are out there now, and
I can tell you this a lot because I did high school 2 years ago, and I had 12th graders that I was teaching 4th grade math.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So then you start talking about
but that's what I'm saying though. Like they're being tested. These kids is in 11th and 12th grade, ready to go to college, and they're testing out on 4th grade level. But somebody, and I'm not saying that the school that I worked at,
all right, so let's tie it all together.
The people that I worked at with Math 3, they never lied about the test scores or the ranges or anything. I'm not saying that about them. What I'm saying is somebody along the way lied. You know what I mean? And then when we got them,
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying bringing it all together is like, how can they compete? Right?
They won't. They're not competitive, and that's the point. But the thing
that's the problem.
Yeah, these kids. My thing is this: if by 4th or 5th grade, because I wrote a paper on this when I was at CCP. I wrote a paper on the school to prison pipeline, and the one piece of that paper that shocked me and made my head spin is that they picked where to put prisons by 4th grade testing scores. 4th grade testing scores. That's how they choose where to put prisons. 4th grade testing scores.
No,
because they say if you cannot read and do math at grade level by 4th grade.
Yo, here's the thing: whether it's 3rd or 4th, it's still it's but either way, that's nasty work.
If they figure if you can't do math and read at grade level by 3rd or 4th grade, there's a 97% chance that you won't be successful. 97%.
Yeah, there's some data for you. That's effed up, yo. Real quick, let me get some of these comments. The Joya says, I don't fudge data and I don't sign on test scores I didn't administer. And Brittany says, Corey, do
you will not get me to sign for nothing.
Yeah. Sean says, pros and cons. Politics probably culturally biased too. That's a tough profession, Corey. Salute for standing 10 toes and giving 100 while many taking shortcuts. It's got to be a daily frustration.
I'm not frustrated because I understand it's business in the end, right? All these people got jobs and these kids are their job, right? I don't think they doing it on. I really don't think it's no malicious intent behind it. To be honest, it's not about the intent. I don't really think these educators have malicious intent for these children. What I do think is that because of the situations they're put in, because of their certifications, and because the way our government sets up these IEPs, they're scared for their livelihoods, and so you putting both people at risk. You putting the child and the educator at risk because these are legally binding documents, and that's why my wife says she does not put her name on anything on any test that she did not administer. And I'm the same way. If I didn't get test,
I'm with these comments because your wife just said something I got to ask about because I just learned something new. But Brittany says the parents can help curb this by starting education at home, and that's a question there. So I guess he's asking a question. I don't know. I'm not in that space.
Yes,
I would say but I think a lot of stuff works at home.
But like I said, it depends, right? Yes, but it depends. If the parents are ID or the children, sometimes the parents and the children are intellectually disabled. So you know what I mean? Like some situations just can't be helped. But for the very most part, what you're saying can't. Yes, that would help.
So here's the thing that I found interesting is what LaJoya just said. Some kids don't receive high school diplomas. They receive a completion of attendance. What does that even mean?
So that means that they cannot pass high school standard classes, and so they get a certificate of completion. Saying
what do they do with that?
They can go to like CCP and places like that and continue. They can continue their education. They can get jobs. They can get like we had kids that at Mastery where I worked at, they got that certificate of completion that end up getting pretty decent jobs. The thing
okay, all right. So the way I thought it was something else. I thought it was like, yo, go write the fries. Like, I didn't know that you still can continue your education. I thought it was something else. I thought it was like more nefarious. Like, no, yo, go over here.
Nothing nefarious about it. It's a way for kids that are aging out of public school or whatever schools they're in. If they're aging out, for them to go into the work world and still have something that says that they completed high school, like they went but they couldn't complete the requirements, but they have sort of a diploma. It's not a diploma, but like this young lady said, you know what I mean? They can get, yeah.
All right, well, hold on. Let me get to the comment. I see
a lot going on with that.
Yeah, so Pat, what's up, Pass? Pass says algebra in 8th and 9th grade is another weeding test.
Man, most kids don't even make it to that test.
Yo, Shay, bro. All right, so my daughter had a completion only because she could not take the SOL. Yeah, what's the SOL?
Probably a test that they had to take, whatever
standardized test.
Yeah, standardized test.
All right, so she also says that due to ID, she walked with her class but could not do college officially for credit. LaJoya says can't get into certain jobs, etc. It's best to graduate off credits or an IEP.
Yeah.
Many parents have been duped to thinking they have a high school graduate. You went, but acquired no credits.
Yeah.
All right. See, that whole system. Man, listen. I don't know nothing about that, man. Let me share something real fast.
So education is business like anything else, right? So we talk a lot about.
I know, but it is right. But I think the problem that I find is, I think about the kids, and it's like it's a business, but they're who suffers.
Man, people always suffer when there's money involved. I don't think. Why do you think? Why would it be any different with children?
Listen, man, old folks and babies, man, we got to protect them, man. Like my man,
what country you live in? What country?
No, I know, but
protect old folks and babies, bro.
All right, real quick, man. My week wasn't, I'm not in the trenches like Cora. I'm out here just doing real estate stuff, so my stuff is a little bit that's crazy. So what I was going to share with y'all is this. I got my architecture plans for this project I'm building. I told you I was doing ground up development now, and this is what the structure is going to look like. Shout to my architect Chris, but it's a 2,837 square foot property, and we're doing 2 of them next to each other. So on the far right here, this is it's going to have a little driveway which pulls into a garage. It's going to be a whole flex space in the bottom with a full bathroom. You dig? Just gonna go. I'm not gonna take time to go over this whole thing. Second floor is an open concept with a living room, kitchen, pantry, the whole 9. Third floor is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. 2 nice size bedrooms too. Then it has a 4th floor with a whole master suite where it has its own front deck, a bedroom, full bath, walk-in closet, and then there's also a rooftop deck right here with a pilot house. So this is going to be a dope project, and it's going to be 2 of them built next to each other. So I don't know if Sean's still in the comments, but Sean, this is right here. We building this in Germantown too. So this is going to be a dope project. So if you know anybody, because by the time we're done with this, I'm gonna need like 7 for it. So if you know anybody looking for a nice space. It's brand new. It's this will be coming in 2025 by the time we get through with the construction and everything. But that's kind of what I've been working on this. But in the midst of this core, I actually did some trading this week. I've been, shout out to Chas, man. One of the people I learned from is Chas. But Chas, I've been beating Spy up this week, dog. I ain't gonna hold you, man. It might be a worn out for me right now because of what I did to Spy this week.
The way you punching it in the face.
The way I was treating Spy this week, it might be a worn out for me, man. So that's what my week consisted of, working on those plans, like approving certain plans from the architecture on that side of it, and then like just basically rumbling Spy. I got so much stuff I'm working on. I got a 1-bedroom apartment available. Anybody in Philadelphia looking for a 1-bedroom, I got one, $900. It's pretty dope. So anyway,
I might look into that.
I mean, hey, let's we
can
rap.
We can rap about
that. Oh, Ray Gun is in the building. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, what's going on, Ray Gun?
For the super chat, listen, all super chats are appreciated because we give it right back out in Bitcoin. Speaking of Bitcoin, I had a great week in Bitcoin as well. But I'm gonna get back to that in a second because LaJoya says it's better to be homeschooled and graduate off a standards-based report card, and your parents signs it to say you passed. You can get in the college's way with no questions asked. Y'all know all the secrets. And what's really good?
25 years. How don't you know these things? If you're in,
hey, listen, man. And what's really good? So Ray Gun says, "Salute to the chat. Salute.
Yeah, man.
Ray, and your answer. So Corey, you're in Texas, huh?
Yeah. I'm not messing around in Texas, man. I'm not saying I'm never coming back. I'll be back in Texas in a week or two. I'll definitely be down there for the holidays with my kids. So not saying that I'll never be back. I'll just never be back permanently. I can say that. not on no permanent basis. You know what I mean?
Respect. Listen, man, so also, go ahead, Corey.
No, I'm just saying nothing against the people of Texas, and I love my family to death, but on a permanent basis, I can't see that happening.
I heard that. So listen, man, a couple other things I want to talk about, man, while we're here, man. Yes, I've been smacking Spy around, working on a development project. That's one thing, man. In terms of like content, I always like to talk about the content I'm watching right now, man. I saw this documentary, and I saw a documentary on this boy before. But how many of y'all, before I even tell you about the documentary, heard of this boy? What's his name? Paul LaRue. You ever heard of the boy Paul LaRue, Court?
I heard the name, not familiar with his work.
He ran a cartel, right? But here's what's interesting about it. This dude, you think Hush Puppy was drawn. This dude was drawn to the next level, but not necessarily in terms of like just being flashy. This dude really wasn't that flashy. But how many people have heard of the boy Paul LaRue? I'm gonna ask that question before I tell y'all. This is actually a documentary on him, and shout out to my folks that like the free stuff. It's one on it's on Tubi. They got a Tubi joint, but it's a real live doc. I'm gonna get y'all the name of the doc. But it's interesting because this dude. And I said, I was going to ask first, but let me get the name of the doc first. So I been on my doc game lately. And I had saw something else about him, and I found that one funny. I saw something a couple of years ago. So I saw this one. I was like, oh, this is on the same board. I gotta see what's up with this. Here it is. It's called The Big Balls. And by the way, it's on Tubi. This one came out in 2020. It's called The Big Balls. I saw a YouTube documentary on board, but this is actually on Tubi. So it's higher level quality. And it's about the boy Paul LaRue. Dude ran a matter of fact, I guess nobody knows who he is, but Khan's in the building. Khan. He said that because he heard what you said about the property. Yeah. But so all right, everyone knows this boy. This is cartel, right? Was selling goo gobs, $1 gazillion worth of drugs, was running guns, prostitution. Whole night, anything you name underworld related, dude was getting a piece of, right?
Yeah.
He had a whole squad that was willing to kill for him and all that, right?
Yeah.
The main man did all this through a computer. Like, damn. He wasn't born in no crime family and all that. He was so ill. He was a software engineer. he was so ill with the computer that he pulled off all these schemes that he ended up being like the shadowy figure that no one even saw before, but was running a real life criminal empire. And he was on the FBI's most wanted list, but he did it all from a laptop. Like he literally, you know how like certain people are born into families or it's because of where they grew up in this environment, this, that, and the third. Nah, main man was just nice with the keyboard, yo.
Yo. And so now my man sitting in the Fed, he can't even use a computer now.
Yo, to the point where he ran a whole cartel. And it says the founder of Bitcoin. They tried to put that on him at one time too. They was like, yo, dude was so smart that he might really be the real Satoshi. Right. But no, but my man was like the fact that he ran a full cartel, yo. He had a hit squad. He was putting hits on folks, like everything from a laptop, bro.
Oh, that's gangster.
Like he was a fat white nerdy dude.
Getting people sent to another world.
Yo, and across multiple continents too, dog. Like he was, yeah, man. It's a wild story, but it's a doc on it on Tubi. Like I said, it's called The Big Boss. Yeah, The Big Boss. Crazy. The Criminal Empire of Paul LaRue. Absolutely insane story, bro.
Yo, and that's crazy. Like I heard that name, but I never knew. Like, you know how you come across certain names when you just read through stuff. I heard that name, but like, boy was really getting busy. Like I googled it when you was talking about it, the name, and I was like, damn. I was like,
yeah, it's a wild story, man. Sometimes, man, like the truth and things that happen in real life are crazier than anything you could put into like a piece of fiction.
Yo, listen, that's why I said if we do a private page, I tell all, bro, except for the names. I'll tell everything with the names, bro. Because my life, man, I feel like the Dos Equis, man.
So also in Bitcoin, shout out to everybody who watched this last episode of Stacks Has to Die Trying. I would talk a lot about the BitKey, and also something else I did this past week. Y'all know I run nodes, but I created a node in the cloud. So I got a node running in the cloud, which is like kind of next level for me too. So now I got all these private channels on the Lightning Network. I'm not trying to get too nerdy, but
yes, you are.
So, but I can get routing fees and do all kinds of stuff, but it's running in the cloud. And the reason I did that is because I've been in a process of moving. I'm in a new space now. And in the process of moving, I had a lot of downtime with my node. And it's still down, to be honest with you, my other node, because I still ain't got my Verizon yet. I'm still using, I'm still got this fugazi internet right now.
Shawshank Redemption. You still using the Shawshank?
I got the scat pack internet, man. I got the scat pack internet, but it's working, right?
Internet.
And listen, it's good enough though. The crazy part is it works on the TV fine, but sometimes when you try to stream things like this show, it gets a little crazy at times.
Got this Shawshank.
But because of that, my node is not running. So I was like, yo, I gotta run one in the cloud. So therefore, it's always running 24/7. So I figured that out, man. So that was an interesting thing. Also, I got this account now, right? Peep Discord, where I get about 4%, close to 4% in interest on savings, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously you can get a little bit more than that. You can get like 4.5%, sometimes 5% of some of these high yield savings accounts. But I have an account now where I get a little bit less than that, but it takes the cash you have in savings and it pays the interest out in Bitcoin.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yo, and I'm gonna do a whole video about it and all that. I might do the next episode of Stack Sats about that, because I think that's something that people could take advantage of. Because a lot of times people are like, look, I don't want to get into Bitcoin, I don't want to do all that. But if you got savings sitting just in cash, you could take that, put it in this account, get paid out in Bitcoin. Your savings is FDIC insured, so you don't have to worry about losing your savings. And then you're just getting Bitcoin. It's kind of like its own version of a miner.
Does that account have a minimum?
No, you can put. I think, matter of fact, I think the minimum is like $100, maybe.
Yeah,
I think it's $100. It might be $100.
Yeah, but saying you can put enough in there that 4% a year means something, but
no, even if it don't. Here's the thing, though. But here's the great thing about Bitcoin. Let's just say I'm only getting $2 a month or $1 a month, whatever it is, 50 cents a month, that's coming in sats. Those sats always increase with value. As the dollar decreases in value, the sats are going up. So listen, man, it's funny. Like when I first got into Bitcoin back in like 2016, it was two people. You were one of them that was like pestering me to start looking into Bitcoin. You were one of them, and it was another gentleman who I never say his name out there because he's like off the radar too. And at the time when I bought it, he was like, "Yo, just buy me $100." And then we did it twice. I gave him like $200 of Bitcoin back in 2016. And I was talking to him the other day. I said, "What's that $200 worth?" Just that one $200 that I gave him in his random wallet was worth about $3,000, right? He had forgot about it. He's like, "Oh, I got $3,000." Like, so the thing is, even if you're getting a small amount in the sats right now, I know everybody says, "Damn, 4%. I want to be able to put, 100,000 to." No, if you got $500, you got $100, you got, $200. Let's throw it in there. Just get free sats. It's free. Pass. I'm gonna inbox you the link right now because you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I don't care if I got 10 billion. I'm gonna need my affiliate bonuses, man. But anyway, man, I got you, Pass. Matter of fact, let me send it to Pass right now while we even having this conversation because I don't want to forget. But so that's a dope thing too, man. So that's the two couple things in Bitcoin, man. I'm running a node in the cloud, and also I got this account, man. And this account is fire, man. I'm gonna send it to you right now, Pass. So anyway, man, that's what's going on in the world of Bitcoin. Make sure you got the Stacks at the Die Trying show because that's all about Bitcoin. So I talk nothing about Bitcoin on that joint, and I'll be drawing sometimes, but it's all good. It's all good because I put out a lot of stuff. All right, Pass. I just sent it to you, Pass. Oh, Rochelle, what's really good? Yo, man, how's the youngin', man? How's the youngin'? I know he started school and all that. So
how's that first year of college going?
How's the first year, man? And tell him we asked about him as well. That's an excellent place to put a stability fund, or what most call an emergency fund. Absolutely, Pass. That's exactly my idea. Funny thing is, once I realized, I was like, oh, I started moving stuff from all over other places. I had a couple dollars in like the Goldman Sachs Apple joint. I was like, nah, give me that. I need these sats. You know what I'm saying? I got to stack these sats, stack more coin. Anyway, man, but that's exactly what I was thinking about. So other than that, man, Corey, that's what's going on with me, man. That's the documentary I've been watching that joint. Anybody ever seen another random? This is random, but I was watching it last night and I was dying. Anybody ever watch Law and Order UK? Like, so first of all, Dick Wolf is getting the money in the UK, which is crazy because Dick Wolf is getting money everywhere. But they got a Law and Order UK, which has been out for a couple years. I had never watched it before, but I got this trial of AMC Plus. So I was just going through the joint before I cut it off. And I saw a Law and Order UK. So I'm a Law and Order dude. I cut it on, and that joint had me. I'm gonna tell you why it had me dying, right? It had me dying because the case is just like here. So the case is, but then they get to court. They get the court on Law and Order is broken up with the police, and then they get the court, the DA, and all that. They get the court, and they walk out with the judges and the attorneys, and they got them dumbass wigs on.
Yo,
and I'm in the crib. Like, come on, man, what we doing, man? What we doing in the 2020s? Why is y'all wearing them wigs? So that set me down a rabbit hole of looking up why they still wear the wigs, and I've come to the conclusion that they do it just because no one told them to stop. Like it's tradition, but it's like, like no one told them to stop. Like.
Nobody said, yo, that shit looks stupid, yo. Like nobody just said that. Yo,
you're not gonna book me for no crazy crime. Then I'm gonna walk in and you got that dumbass wig on. Like, how I'm gonna take you serious?
I'm going down for that crime because I'm gonna be laughing the whole time. I'm going down for that crime. Like, come on, dog. Like, get that thing. You got that ridiculous thing on your head, and you trying to tell me what my life look like.
He said, "We get money, bro."
How are you governing anything in my life with that ridiculous thing on your head?
Let me check. I'm actually going to the UK next year, man. Yo, my next couple months gonna be crazy, man. I'll be in Amsterdam the first week of December. But before that, as a matter of fact, November 2nd, that's like next week, the week after that, I got a flight to Chicago.
Saturday of next week.
All right, so not this Saturday, next Saturday, right? All right, I fly out next Saturday. I'm going to Chi-Town. I'll be in Chicago, man. I'm going to see Stevie Wonder live in Chicago, man. Last stop of his tour. I'm flying out to see the gods. You know what I mean? Next Saturday. Not tomorrow, but next Saturday. Yes, I told you my next couple months crazy. And I'm supposed to be like in London in February. And I'm also booking a trip right now, man. I'm trying to go to El Salvador, man.
Oh, you trying to go to the Bitcoin?
I'm going, man. I'm gonna shoot some content. I'm going to shoot some content. I'm going, dog. I'm going.
You going to the Bitcoin heaven?
I'm going. I'm make it happen, dog. I'm definitely making that happen. So, my next couple months is crazy, man. But life is good, man. I got no complaints right now, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out StackSats.trying. We got other content we're working on and stuff that we're putting together now. Just trying to, get the work done. As you can see, Corey out here fighting for the babies, and I'm just, just being a heathen.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Like I said, education is business, right? And so if you really want to look at where, like, teachers touch everything, bro. Mm-hmm. So every profession started with a teacher. Mm-hmm. Every profession. And so my thing is, education is one of the most important parts of money that we don't talk about a lot. And so when we do our private chats and our stuff like that, I break it down for y'all, man, how dirty the game is.
One of them songs where Drake is being completely arrogant. And he got that line like, I think it's is it Churchill Downs? It's either that or in the middle. It's either that or the middle of the ocean. One of them joints where he say,
"No, middle of the ocean." When he talk about when he go to his kids' school.
No, not that's drawn too. He's stunting on that one too. But when he talk about, I'm the only teacher that's paid what they work for, something like that. Like something about him teaching. Yeah, it's one of your favorite Drake. You like arrogant Drake. So
yeah, arrogant Drake is the only Drake that means anything because that's his real. That's him. Like all the rest of that Drake. I mean, all of them are part of his persona, like, UK Drake and all of them other Drakes, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But arrogant
you don't think Patois Drake is real Drake?
Huh?
You don't think the Patois Drake is real Drake? He starts talking his Jamaican accent?
Nah, man. That's Drake. That's poser Drake.
But here's why I thought about that before too. I'm like, my man got like multiple personalities, but I also thought about the fact that he's from Toronto, right? And I've been to Toronto,
and that is big in the culture in Toronto.
Yo, in Toronto, dog. When I was in Toronto, and I'm going around, I'm like, yo, this might be just as big, if not bigger, melting pot than New York. It's culture. This is culture everywhere.
It is.
So I'm like, and maybe what I mean, like, so anyway. But in that song, he talks about being the only teacher that's paid what he's right. And I gotta go listen to them two songs. This isn't one of them songs. I'm gonna send it to you because I know that's your favorite Drake, man. Arrogant Drake.
Yeah, man. Arrogant Drake.
I ain't gonna front though. I'm one of the only dudes, right? And forgive me for saying this because I know a lot of people hate this. I like R&B Drake. I like some of his slaps. Some of his R&B is fire, dog.
I can't do it. Like, all he starts singing, yo. I missed out on a lot of fire Drake songs because soon as he start singing, bro, I'm done. That joint get skip. That joint get auto skip. Like my finger just swipe. My joint, whatever that song is, that joint get auto swipe. The last song that he had that he sang on that I actually listened to was Hotline Bling.
Oh, dog, my joint is passion fruit, man.
I couldn't even tell you
man. Like,
sound like.
I like a lot of R&B Drizzy, man. Like, and it's funny because folks, I know a lot of people like you who like, nah, I want to hear him spit them bars. No, man, he got some slaps on the R&B side. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. But to answer Ant's question, Ant asked me, have you booked a trip with crypto before, Jim? So, yes and no, and I'll explain what I mean by that, right? So there was a point in time where, and again, everyone knows that I generally don't have a bank account. I live off crypto. I'm living the Bitcoin standard right now. And what allows me to do that for the most part in these day and time is Fold. Fold is now set up in a manner where I can live a Bitcoin standard. I can leave all my money in Bitcoin. When I want to use it on the card, you literally press the button and it goes from Bitcoin to a Visa card. So then you just use the Visa card. And then the illest part about that is you get a rebate in sats, right? So that's so fold by itself allows me to do that. Before Fold had all the various elements that it has today, I was doing it in different ways. At one point, it was Cash App. I would leave Bitcoin, all my money in Cash App and Bitcoin. And then when I wanted to spend money, or I would leave it in a cold storage, send it to Cash App, and then it was a whole lot of that. But one of the ways was there was a couple different services. One was like literally called the Bitcoin Company. And what was the other one? Bit Refill, I think, was the other one. They would allow you, one of those. But I don't even use either one of them anymore. But I'm just answering Ant's question. I used to use those. So what I would do is I would keep I would have a Lightning wallet, right? Self-custody Lightning wallet. And I have booked the trip. Most of the time when I travel is American Airlines, just because I'll be trying to stack the miles too. But they had American Airlines gift cards, so I would pay with Lightning to American Airlines, get an American Airlines gift card, and then take that and then use it on American. So technically, I pay with crypto, but really it's through an actual gift card.
You buy the gift card with the crypto.
You buy the gift card with crypto, and then use the gift card to do what I want to do. Yeah. And that was the great thing about Bit Refill. They had gift cards.
That's all. Whoa, that's my whole life on what's the name? That's all I do on Fold card. Yeah, that's all I do on Fold. I buy the gift cards on Fold with the crypto, and then I get the rebates in crypto. Like
you get 7,
8, 10% back on whatever you spend in crypto.
Yeah, so the thing is with Fold, what I do is the way Fold operates now, though, you can literally just move it right to their card, which is a Visa card. Visa's accepted pretty much everywhere. So Fold by itself now allows me to operate in a manner that I used to use multiple services to do everything that I do through Fold now. You know what I'm saying? You can even buy Bitcoin on Fold and then send it to your cold storage, right? So just to be honest, there's only a couple places that I buy Bitcoin. I've said it several times. I say it on StackSats, Swan, Strike, Fold, and my new one that I'm about to put y'all down with on the next episode that I already put Pass down with. And if anybody wants that connect, just shoot me a private message before I shoot the video, and I'll send it directly to you. But they're the only place that I buy Bitcoin. I don't use Gemini. I don't use Coinbase. I don't use Kraken. I don't use all those, those shitcoin casinos, as I call them. The great thing about Swan, though, and I know Pass feels me on this because Pass actually mentioned it to me before. The great thing about Swan, and by the way, Pass, the link I just sent you, you could do that with them as well. But the great thing about Swan is, all right, about to get nerdy for a second, right? So you can set it up where you set up a DCA, buy every day, buy every week, buy every month, buy every 2 weeks, whatever it is. When I stack a certain amount of Bitcoin, for me, I have mine at 0.01. So when I get 1% of a Bitcoin, which is 1 million sats, automatically send it to whatever cold storage wallet I give you. I don't even have to touch it. It does it by itself. That's what I like about Swan that Strike doesn't do. I use Strike for a different reason because Strike is Lightning. Swan's not Lightning, but that's either here nor there. But why I say it's going to sound a little nerdy. For those that are interested in Bitcoin, look up UTXO, your unspent transactions, but we could call it UTXO. Thing about UTXO is you don't want to have a bunch of small micro transactions. You don't want it as soon as you buy $20 worth of Bitcoin, then you send that $20 to your cold wallet, right? You don't want to do that. You want to wait till you have a certain amount. For me, that's 1 million sats. That's 0.01 of a Bitcoin before I make a transaction. I don't want to buy $20, $25, and then automatically run and go move it to my wallet. And the reason you don't want to do that is in the future, as Bitcoin becomes more valuable, you want to make it so those, because it actually goes by your various UTXOs, whether you have a large one or a small one, but you want to make it so your Bitcoin is still spendable if you want to spend it. Because it can get to the point if you have so many micro transactions, it's almost going to cost you so much that it's almost unspendable. Again, this could be its own class, but just look up the idea of a UTXO. And for that reason is why you only want to move when you get to a certain amount stacked on your exchange. Swan allows you just to kind of automate
it.
Yeah, with Strike, I go in myself and do it. Now, also with Strike, I don't want to speak. This is not StackSats, but I gotta get these bars off. But also with Strike is Lightning. So with Lightning, I can move, Shout out to my brother. watches the show too. I was showing him the other day. We were sitting in front of the computer. The guy was showing him. I'm like, yo, With Lightning, I literally can send 1,000 sats. It'll cost me like 2 sats and 1,000 sats, and it goes in 5 seconds. And I don't have to worry about the whole idea of the UTXO and all that. This is only on the main chain that I'm talking about, UTXO. 95% of people are only using the main chain because they're buying off Coinbase or Robinhood, whatever it is. Once you get into the idea of Lightning, you start to see how this can be used as a medium of exchange. Anyway, Ant Dog, going back to the Drake conversation, light skin begets arrogance for some reason. No, Duke got a couple songs where he just like, all right, I got to show you like once in a while that I'm just a douchebag. And he gets in full Drake douchebag mode. But he be snapping. Sure. Listen, Ray is with me. So I'm not alone, man. I am not alone. In the words of Michael Jackson. Side note, R. Kelly.
Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a thou wow with you, man. I don't care what the ladies like when I'm listening to music, man. Like I'm listening to music for personal enjoyment. And you know what I mean? Like if Drake he starts singing, I'm out of there. I'm gone.
I'm gonna find out what song that is called. I'm gonna tell you because that's some arrogant stuff. He be spitting on that joint. So Mark says, "What up? What up, Mark? Mark, what's really good, man? How are you, good brother?" Yeah, they said that's lit. Tory Lanez for the ladies, man. No cap. Tory Lanez got some slack. Tory Lanez just bothered me because he's short. Like, no disrespect to short people, but that one video that goes viral all the time with him on Sway in the morning just bothers my existence. When Main Man be sitting down, when he be spitting, and then he stand up and he the same size he was sitting down. It just bothers me, yo.
You funny as hell, bro.
So I consider myself to be a crypto vet, but you said Swan let you set a predetermined price to drip into your wallet. Yes. In Crypto FOMO, I don't know if you have a Swan account, but if you don't have a Swan account, look in the description because, you know, we about them affiliate links, man. And Pat says, yeah, my Swan is straight on autopilot. DCA on a weekly basis and the withdrawal is set on auto as well. Literally set it and forget it. Lazy man investing. Pass. The link I just sent you for the other institution. Another thing they got is I got a DCA set up with them too. But they have a joint set where you can also auto set it to buy if it hits a certain price. And you can just set that whenever. Because sometimes what happens in Bitcoin is you be having flash crashes you don't even see. So, you know, it gets kind of crazy, man. But see, the thing about Bitcoin, though, Core, Bitcoin is so deep when you get into studying Bitcoin that I don't even understand how people have time to shitcoin. And then I realized I know how they have time to shitcoin because they don't study. Because if you don't study, you just jump from one thing to the other. You really don't know how things work.
Listen,
because
man,
Bitcoin,
you went down every single dark crevice and rabbit hole of crypto, dog. Every single one. Man. We was there.
Shout out to our brother Jay Johnson because Jay would hit us up.
We went into the dark recesses of every single crypto that is possible to go. We went, and I'm talking about we was professional.
That phase of my journey is why I'm at where I'm at now. Because it's like I realized, like,
because once I figured out, I said, man, because listen, after Jim went full Bitcoin, I was like, all right, I'm still gonna play in the dark recesses and dirty crevices of crypto, right? And I put about $3,000 into that, right? And at the end of the year, I had $3,700. So I didn't lose no money, but I spent a year to make $700, and I spent like 7,500 hours doing it. Like, I'm like, damn, this is dumb. Like, I just got paid 2 cents an hour for this $7,700. You see what I'm saying? Like,
that's a great conversation. We can do a whole show on that because you know how many people actually make money, whether it's trading, whether it's doing these various things, but if they take the time to sit around and think the time they spent to do it is like, what did I really do? And I realized that I was telling you and Jada, I was like, yo, I calculated it. And I was like, the 1 year we was going crazy down rabbit holes, I calculated it. I was like, yo, if I would have just bought Bitcoin and did absolutely nothing at all, I would have made more money. Now, granted, I did learn a lot going through that process.
And spent zero time doing it.
Spent zero time. I would have just been sitting around like twiddling my thumbs, watching all kinds of ignoramus stuff on TV. But the fact of the matter is, I've seen that with people that trade too. I've seen people when they go to do their taxes, they get all their documents and it's like, yo, I made $30,000 trading this year. And they start calculating the hours they spent to do it. And it's like, dude, you could have just went and got a job at Burger King. Like, what are we talking about? It's like, it reminds me of that book. What was it? Gang Leader for a Day, which when the guy was running the gang or whatever, and he was a socio whatever it was, but he spent time. No, not a sociopath. He was like a psychologist, but he studied social situations. I forgot the specific name for that.
All right.
He was a PhD student, but he was whatever that term is. They talk about it in Freakonomics, but there's a whole book on it. It's called Gang Leader for a Day. And he was breaking down like the economics of drug dealing. And he was saying, unless you're at a certain level, if you start looking at it and breaking the numbers down, you get to the point where you realize that you're making minimum wage or you're making less than people who work fast food for the average person on the street selling drugs.
Yep.
When you look at the time they spend, and then you add in the risk, it's like it's not even worth it. Unless you got the Uber plug and you at the very top and you know your hands and get there, it's not even worth it.
75 hours a week to make $50,000 a year.
Yeah. And, you know, I shout out brother Don. I was having a conversation with Don on Twitter this past week because he was quoting the thread when I saw it pop up on my timeline where someone was, you know, someone was going down that whole thing of you got to start your own business. You only can get rich as an entrepreneur. And, you know, Don ain't about that. So Don, like, you know, start straightening him out. And I was just talking to him on Twitter about it. And he was breaking down how folks who are literally billionaires and their employees, right? And one dude was like, yeah, would you rather like be someone who's an entrepreneur that slaves all day or the sixth employee at Facebook, right? But he was just breaking down the numbers. But I guess the gist of this whole conversation we having right now is just to know your numbers. Most people don't know their numbers. I work in real estate. I work across from realtors all the time who don't know their numbers. They'll spend money on marketing, flyers, even billboards and all kinds of stuff. They'll sell property. They'll make money. Another person I had this conversation with recently was someone in a barbershop who was a barber. And he makes a lot of money. And I was asking him about his numbers. Because we really started having this conversation because there's a book called The Wealthy Barber or something like that. And I was recommending that book to him. And I read the book, but the guy basically he learned to invest his money. He was a barber. He had a trade. He was very good at it, took part of his money, invested it, became a millionaire in the stock market while still cutting hair. And I'm like, you got to know your numbers. So, Core, if you're a teacher, if I'm a developer, if somebody is an engineer, if somebody works at McDonald's, if somebody is an accountant, if somebody, doesn't matter what you do, if you don't know your numbers, and that's what we're really talking about.
So
you got to know your numbers.
Again, right? So this is what I'm talking about, the business to education, right? It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money that you can invest. Being a millionaire is based on what percentage of your money you could take and put and save. That's it. It's not about how much you make. It's about the percentage of what you make that you can put into investing and saving. That's it. Yeah, there you go. What percentage of what I make numbers? But if
you don't know your numbers. So the barber I was talking to, you know, it wasn't my barber, but he was in the same shop. But I'm not, you know, I put his business out there. He was like, "Yo, I pay my rent where I live. I pay my rent at the shop. You know," he's like, he got a daughter. I treat my baby girl, pay her tuition. He was like, "I got enough to pay my bills or whatever." I'm like, "What you got put aside for retirement?" He's like, "I don't." I'm like, "So you're just gonna cut hair to you 90?" I mean, like, but the thing is, he spends money frivolously. I'm in the shop and I see him spend a couple grand in front of me. People walking in selling stuff. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you know how it is in a barbershop, right?
Yep. He
spends money frivolously because he is fast. It's almost like you've seen drug dealers do this, right? When the money is coming fast, you spend fast.
You don't gotta tell me about that, bro. I live that life.
Hey, man, listen, man. You know, we're gonna not talk about that, man.
That was a whole different lifetime ago. But
but all I'm saying is, but it's the same concept. But what you realize is the people that actually go to work and have a job, they do the same thing, man. Like, if you don't know your numbers, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, shout out to Elizabeth, like, from Cardinal Financial, who does a lot of mortgages up here in the city. She talks about this all the time. Like, when people say, I want to buy a house, and she start asking about their numbers or to submit documents, and they're like, I don't know them. Nor do I have my documents. Yeah, you got to know your numbers, man. Edvard is in the building. What's up, good bro? He said hit the like button. Please hit the like. We're about to do our Bitcoin giveaway soon as we get through these last comments. You can set alert buys. That's one thing I needed because I know the level. There you go, Pass. Let's get it. You got to hit the roads to make money in that game. Yeah, man. You know, listen, man.
Yeah. Like anything else, it's about who you know. It's about who you know.
When I
And
found out the Knicks went for 20 down south,
you know what I
packed
mean?
up my crew with the raw power moves. Glock 19. All right, so shout out to Biggie,
Yeah.
man. Pat says that's why I didn't go down the rabbit hole with y'all. I was too lazy for all the work y'all was doing. Buy this, swap that, buy that, swap back, withdraw. But y'all were definitely forward. Yeah, we was out of pocket, man. We was doing way too much. Way too much. Old head barbers get no love. See, but this is the difference, right? And I realized this too. Again, coming from the real estate space, I realized early on that some people are hustlers and some people run a business. And I think it's the same thing with barbers. Some old head barbers I've seen in barbershops got a clientele where they don't even. I know an old head in the barbershop. He charges anywhere between $1 to $1.50 a cut. And I'm like, yo, how do you do that? And he was like, because I've built a clientele up over the years where now I only work with people that, he said, first of all, the people that I can afford to pay with are the people that I want to work with. And I know I got him on a rotation so he can kind of manage his money. He's a businessman. Some people are just hustlers, right? And I see it, again, I see it in real estate. Some people have a full real estate business where they know the money coming in, the money going out. They know how much money they're making for the money they're putting out. They know, okay, if I run a Facebook ad that's going to cost me 50, I can expect to make 150 for every 50 I put out, right? They know their numbers. Same thing applies to a barber, right? If you know who your clientele is, if you have a database, how many barbers you don't have a database? I've seen it. But then you got some folks that just hustlers, man. If you just a hustler, you just be cutting hair.
That just cut hair all day. Like, that used to be my brother. Like, I'm like, how much money you make today? He's like, I don't know, man. I'm like,
see, and that's what I'm saying. But yo, I've come across barbers, bro, that got a whole system. They got employees. They got like, they don't even own the shop. They work within someone else's shop, but they built the system within that shop where they're making more than the owner because they got systems. They pay the owner rent to rent that space. They got employees, someone that books for them, schedules. I've seen this, like, and I realized, like, okay, there's a difference between being a barber and being a businessman that knows how to cut hair.
You know what's crazy?
You know what I'm saying?
It made me think about all of this stuff. Places like the hair cuttery and sports, the sports joint that cut your hair, whatever that joint is. Like, I'm like, how the hell do they make money? But it's all because they got systems.
Yep.
It's all because they got systems. Like, I'm like, damn, like, because one thing is, when I was living in Chester, they was everywhere, yo. Like, it was a hair cuttery every 5 or 6 blocks. I'm like, damn. Like, how can they afford to be that close together? And then, great clips and the hair cuttery joint. Like, they was everywhere out there in the suburbs, bro. And
they got systems, man.
And the barbers get paid a certain amount no matter how many heads they cut. And they got a system. And it's like, and they getting them in and out of there. Like, I was like, damn, yo.
And you build databases? And what kind of databases do you build? We're going to probably get in a second core, but let me get the last comments. You have to know the numbers. A job paying $50K with 100% 401k match up to 6% and paying full healthcare is actually paying more than a job with $55K with no match and you pay healthcare. I'm glad you said that because I actually went over this with someone. I was looking at a government job and I was looking at the benefits they had, like this personal choice health plan. This health plan they had was crazy. And I went through with them and we looked up the same health plan. And I think the job was paying like $80K. It was a government job. But the health plan that they had with this government job core, when you try to like spec it out on Independence Blue Cross website or whatever, right. Yo, the medical benefit was worth like 25. It was like $25K a year. Yeah. Like $25K. Seriously, when you add it, because you can add in like husband, wife, and kids and all that, and you get talking about full coverage, no referrals. It had dental and whole 9. And I was like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's damn near 25 to 30K on top of what they're paying you. But that's to pass this point, you have to understand the value, right? You get enticed with just the 50K, but they're not giving you nothing else. The value is where it's at. Ray says, what is the name of the barber book? It's called The Wealthy Barber, and the author is David Chilton, Chilton. It's literally called The Wealthy Barber. Yeah, and it talks about just learning to. It's very simple personal financial. It's very simple personal finance book. It's really about someone who had a skill. His skill was cutting hair, had not great cash flow, and decided to learn the market. So while he's sitting there cutting hair, his money is cooking for him. And it got to the point, get to the point where your money's out earning you. Yeah, great clips. And also says, I'm a data guy in general. I can build and integrate it with data or write a query so you can input the data and it gets stored. Okay. And get busy. I heard that. All right, listen. What's today's phrase gonna be, Core, for the giveaway?
Today's topic, self-destruct. Oh, my fault. It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging.
I think I asked you this before, Corey. I think I asked you this before, and I think I know what you said, but I asked you who had the best verse on self-destruction.
I ain't gonna lie. It changes with me over time, but I like MC Light verse the best on there.
Okay. Her was who wrote her verse? I think LL verse. Yeah, that was the verse LL wrote because he wasn't on the song, but he wrote MC Light's verse. Anyway, man, what y'all think? Give me some ideas of what to make the giveaway. We want to do our Bitcoin giveaway, but I gotta figure out what to make the hashtag to put into the live stream, man. Give me some ideas. We talked about a lot today. We talked about the boy Paul LaRue. We talked about Bitcoin. Talked about nodes. We talked about education and IEPs. All right, let's see. He said, appreciate it. Put an Amazon cart now. No doubt, Rez. What's up, man? Listen, man, all about books. There we go, Brittany. Keep it. I like that one. Education. Greg said, know your numbers. That's a good one, too. Hashtag BTH, by the hood. That's a good one. I think I'm in education, man, because Corey was giving us the breakdown. I bought half a Bitcoin today. Do you think we'll see 100K at the end of the year or the fourth quarter? All right, Crypto FOMO. Excellent question. And congratulations on buying half of a Bitcoin today. That's dope. It's crazy because I hate speculating on price because the one thing I realized about price for following the stock market and Bitcoin is people are so emotional and so many things have an effect on price. I hate speculating on price, which is why DCA is my approach. And I've actually read studies that say that DCA is not the optimal approach. I disagree. But, that's my personal opinion because I think it takes into account other things outside of just pure raw data. But I'm interested to see I think the election, depending upon who wins the election and from everything I'm seeing, I think Trump is pulling a little bit ahead right now, but it's still relatively close where, so I think the election could play a part in that. But here's what I will say, Crypto FOMO. I don't think that you're going to be upset about that anyway, because looking into the future, right? I don't look at things at the end of the year or this year. I look at it 5, 10, 20 years from now. What you bought is half of an asset that is the most scarce asset known to man. So as long as you hold it, you'll be fine. I can't really speculate on by the end of this year because I think the election, depending upon who wins the election, I think it's possible. That thing what people like to call the God candle. We jumped from where we at now, 60-something K to 200K. I think that's possible too. I also think it's possible that depending upon who wins the election, we go from 60K to 30K. But I'm so bought into what it is I'm doing that it really don't even matter what the price is. I really check the price most days. The only time I check it is because I got a bunch of Riot Leaps that's printing for me. So outside of that, I don't even care about price. But I think I'm gonna go with education. Brittany, here's one for you. Great clips. Make the hashtag great clips. Hustle. I'm gonna go with education though. Let me see if I can set this up, man. Great clips. Yo, man. Also, all y'all dudes out here, man. And I saw some of y'all down my timeline. I ain't gonna say no names, man. Who I know living frugal and posting about it is cool. But y'all gotta stop going to these Asian barbers, man. No disrespect to my Asian brothers out there, man. But y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all taking it too far. Yeah, Core. It's Asian dudes in the hoods that cut hair now, and they be charging like $5, $6, $7, and dudes be going to them trying to save money. I get it, though.
Listen, man.
There's certain businesses. There's certain businesses, right, that I feel are wild if you patronize not your own folks within those businesses. Certain stuff you can't help.
If you got a barber down the street charging $40 and you got one charging $7, and your money tight, where you going?
Well, I'm going to the crib to figure it out myself. But that being said, with that being said, you have a talk with the $40 boy. If he ain't willing to wiggle, pause. Then we got, I get that, but some of y'all just, anyway. Pat said, folks ask me why I don't consult with my own business. No overhead, no finding clients, good salary, remote, paid health care, 401k match, stock options, an unlimited PTO. Know your numbers. Pat, that is a word. I told this story before I got like fully fledged into the real estate business. The only job that I had in private industry, everyone knows I do work with the government even to this day in consulting and things, but the only private industry job I had, I worked for Johnson & Johnson. And working in Johnson & Johnson was one of the most educational experiences for me, because I would walk around and it would just be people like literally in the office who were millionaires based on stock options. And what was funny is I remember telling them like, yo, I'm leaving, I'm getting in the real estate game, blah, blah, blah. Some of them laughed at me like, why would you do that? Just stay here, get your options. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, and they became, the millionaire next door types. And, but it is what everybody got their own journey. But sometimes you get in a good space. And I was telling this to somebody on Twitter the other day, because they were like talking about like running their own business and you got to be like this person and this, that, and the third. And they was talking about Jamie Dimon. I was like, dog, Jamie Dimon was an employee. He's still an employee.
He's been an employee his whole life.
Like he ain't start nothing. So how is he the person that you point to when you give me all this, But to pass this, folks, to pass this point, I don't think it's about what you do, because the book that I just was talking to Ray about, a barber did it. You can become a millionaire. You can change your family trajectory with any source of income. It's really about having a plan, whatever that plan is. But you got to have a plan. It's my opinion.
That's the thing I was talking about earlier with education. It's not about how much money you make. It's about the percentage of money that you can keep in savings and investing. If that is, I think the board that I don't like, he was talking about if you can keep at least 20% in savings and investing, those people will have a high likelihood of becoming a millionaire.
Man, what's main man name? The old head that was the janitor that ran the bag up all crazy.
I can't remember his name. My man was working for $12 an hour, bro, and my man was like worth.
No, you talking that's Mr. Earl. That's Mr. Earl that worked at the. Shout out to Mr. Earl too. Mr. Earl was also a legend who worked at the John where you park cars.
Yeah.
The boy, I think his name is like Ronald Reed or something like that. If you look up the story of Ronald Reed was a janitor, and when he died, they looked up and main man worth like I think $79 million, something like that. But he knew how to do exactly what you said, put a lot of his money to work. Anyway, man, we got a couple more minutes. Oh, we got a fraction of people putting into it. So let me say this real fast before we get out of here. The hashtag is education. Put hashtag education in the comments section to be put into our Bitcoin giveaway. All you have to do is let us know that you're still here. If you're still here and you win the random giveaway, we will send you Bitcoin this evening. Send me your cash tag, inbox me your cash tag, email me your cash tag, and we will send it to you this evening. It is hashtag education. A couple more minutes because a lot of folks are just getting into it now. I see the numbers going up. Hashtag education. You know what I'm saying? Corey, what you got on tap for this weekend, man? You all IEP'd out?
I got grades to put in because I gave a test today. I got IEPs to do. I got some laundry to do. I got to, talk to the fam and chill with the fam.
Yes, sir.
Nothing out of pocket. Just what we do. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at.
Give a couple more minutes to get in, then we're gonna get out of here. But Pat says, how many of your dollars that you earn will never produce another dollar? If you eat all the fruit, eventually you will starve. There you go. Amen. How many employees can you put out there? You know what I mean? How many employees can you put out there? That's the question. Yo, shout out to our sister Janelle Wilson, who just sent me a message right now, asking about teaching the class over at her little shouldn't say little because she got a huge group, her group over there. So shout out to Janelle. For those who don't know Janelle is a titan over here, man. She gets to it. Anyway, man, listen. All right, so we got a fraction of the folks watching that want to win the Bitcoin. That's okay.
All right.
That means there's only 10 people. We got way more than that. We got 4 times as many folks watching this, but so my thing is it like more likelihood that those that actually participate do. 30 seconds and we're going, whether somebody joins or not, but it's hashtag education, 20 seconds. We're going, spin for this, man. Of course, something else I started doing too recently, and it's actually better now watching. I started rewatching Boardwalk Empire. That was an excellent show.
Oh, that was an
excellent show. And rest in peace to Michael K. Williams, because dude was talented, bro. He was talented. He's talented, and Jeffrey Wright, who's in there too. Jeffrey Wright might be the most talented actor I've ever seen in my life, bar none. And that includes all y'all favorites. Like Jeffrey Wright is ill, bro. He's ill. He's the illest.
He like Biggie Smalls.
Anyway, it's him and what's the 2 actors I think are the best I've seen is him and what's the boy name that plays Gus Fring in Breaking Bad?
Giancarlo Esposito. Giancarlo Esposito.
Him and Jeffrey Wright, them 2 dudes might be 1 and 2. I don't know who's better, but they might be 1A and 1B. I don't know who's A and who's B, but them 2 dudes are both just phenomenal actors, man. Anyway, that's a side note. So we got enough folks in. We get ready to spin. Remember, you got to let me know that you're still here, and then we'll take care of you, and we'll get you your Bitcoin this evening. It's about 40. Matter of fact, let me do the before I spin. Let me tell you how many sats it is. You know what I'm saying? I got a sat to dollar calculator on my phone. You want to know where to find that at? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? So about 37,481 sats.
Hey, man, like 2 weeks ago, when we was giving out sats like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that was only like 25,000 sats. That'll tell you how the fluctuation of the sats. It's the same amount of money with the different fluctuations.
You said what's whose best movie, Jeffrey Wright or G? Because who what their best movie is and my favorite movie are completely different. Because I'm gonna tell you my with Giancarlo, it's a hood classic, and it's on no one's favorite list but me. Yo, my favorite Giancarlo movie is Fresh. I love the movie Fresh, dog. Fresh is in my top 10 movies of all time. I absolutely love the movie Fresh, dog. And I know I got no business loving the movie what I do. It's a hood classic, though, man. Because Young Boy goes to our conversation today. Young Boy was out here nickel and diming, but he was stacking his Fresh was stacking his paper, dog. You can't say nothing about Fresh, man. Fresh is that dude. That's the greatest. People are like, oh man, my favorite crime drama is Paid in Full. Now Fresh was ahead of the Fresh, man. He was playing chess out there. Anyway, that's a side note. He is seriously underrated. Peoples Hernandez showed me he can do any role. Absolutely. Brilliant. Jeffrey Wright is cold. Heard him do an English accent in the movie. He was a street dude. That's what I'm saying. He's all over the place. And everything he's in, like, I started watching something on AMC the other night, and I was like, I never even heard of this show. Let me tell you what the name of it is. He's the main character in the Giancarlo it is. But him and Jeffrey Wright, dog, are both just, man, listen, man. And it said Jeffrey Wright. So what's Jeffrey Wright's best flick? I got to think about that real fast as I do this giveaway. Fresh is a classic. Con said Fresh is fire. Ray said Fresh knew his numbers. Yes, he did. It's called Parish. You ever heard of Parish? It's an AMC show. Parish. American Fiction was dope. Let me see. What's Jeffrey Wright's best one? Look up Jeffrey Wright's body of work. I want to see what pops up just right away. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. Because he's brilliant in everything. I've never seen him in nothing that he wasn't. Let's see. The first thing to pop up is American Fiction, which was absolutely brilliant. You got to watch American Fiction. Goldfinch, OG, The Mockingjay. Broken City, Source Code. He played in everything, bro. He got a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, he is in the James Bond joints too. The Manchurian Candidate, Ali, Shaft. My man Peoples. All right, man. So let's get ready to spin, y'all. Good luck to everybody. Remember, you guys still got to be here. The winner is.
And the winner is.
Ray. Ray with the W. Ray, are you here?
My guy, Ray.
Ray, are you here? You gotta see if Ray is here. Give him a couple. Give him about a minute to, see what it is. Of course. So I put a gun to your head. Jeffrey Wright and Giancarlo Esposito.
I'm more familiar with Giancarlo Esposito's work. A lot of those things
you can't go wrong with either one of the answers.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Jeffrey Wright isn't the GOAT but I don't have enough of a.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not really super familiar with all of his bodies of work, whereas I bump into Giancarlo Esposito everywhere for the stuff that I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, Ray, shoot me an email, buythehoodllc@gmail.com. At JW the Blueprint. You can hit me up personally on any of the sites. You can put it into the comment section now if you do it within the next 30 seconds, and I'll just take a picture right here and send it to you right away. But make sure you get with me this evening. I say that because I got to get a cut early in the morning, and I'm in these streets trying to get to this chicken, man. I'm on a goal now, man. I got to stack as much enough fiat just so I can have it print out Bitcoin for me, man. Gus Fring was a cold, Gus Fring. Listen, Gus Fring knew his numbers, man. Gus Fring was still working his gig too. Gus Fring was still working his gig. Listen, man, Gus Fring knew his numbers, man. I was watching a documentary on YouTube the other day about the old Philly mob boss from South Philly, Angelo Bruno, from the 80s. And it was just interesting to me because they were talking about like when he died, right? My man lived at 9th and Snyder. Was running the whole Philly joint, but and no one really knew the extent of his businesses. And he was talking about when he passed, they found out my man had trucking companies, real estate companies, boy had millions of dollars in Disney stock, right? Just still living in the neighborhood, but no one knew all this until they didn't know the extent of his business acumen until he was gone and was like, hold up. It's like that scene in The Wire when at the Stringer, spoiler alert, after Stringer dies and McNulty walks in his crib, and he starts seeing the books that Mayman was studying. And he was like, who was I chasing? He said, who the F was I chasing? All right, Jamil, I don't know how to tell you this, bro. But we already did the drawing, dog. All right, Ray, I got your cash tag, Ray-Ban90. So now we good to go. Everybody else, man, we appreciate y'all pulling up with us. We'll be here next week. Check out StackStats.trying. If you want the link to the account I was talking about where it pays you interest, FDIC and short interest in Bitcoin, hit me up personally. Email LLC. I'll put y'all down to that. Check out the next episode. I'm gonna do a whole little episode about that because I think it's phenomenal. It's dope. So we go from there, man. Core, man, appreciate the breakdown today, man. Talking about education. We're gonna do some more of that behind when we get everything set up. So. Good night, family. Yo, don't forget to tell him we said what's up. How's college? What's his Cash App too, man? In case you want to send him something, just to look out for the youngin', man. Make sure, tell Cam we said what's really good. Anyway, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Stay in tune, man. We love y'all. Peace.